Hey, it's Monday, May 17th, and I'm going to shoot you over my research articles that I was reading not only on Sunday, but also today. Today's a big day. There's a lot of discussion about whether or not things will reopen as far as international travel goes. Biden is supposed to make some announcements maybe this week about whether or not the United States is going to reopen travel between our country and the EU and other countries. So we want to keep a close eye on that. I'll shoot you over some data on that later, maybe tomorrow. I'm doing a lot of research for a particular client on international travel and tourism. So I'll shoot that, and it's been a key focus for some of the research I've been doing. But prior to that, so let's dive into some of the stuff that I've researched this weekend. One is a big article by the Wall Street Journal on the problems with natural gas in the sense of the greening of the energy grid and how it's going to impact natural gas plants, and also bringing forward the times at which they become trapped assets in the sense of renewable energy and electricity storage. This is a theme that has been running around in the power generation field for quite some time. It's a little bit overly optimistic on some of the time frames that they have. There's big problems with wind and solar. When the wind stops and when it blows and when the sun shines and when it doesn't, creates havoc on those grids. If they don't have the capacity storage for electricity. And right now, electricity can only be stored for about 4 hours. So it's not super helpful, but it's getting there. And more of these companies are looking, more of the power generation companies are shifting gears over to creating these big battery arrays, one particularly in California, that really took hold, and that they spent a lot of time in the article discussing. I did go through a nonprofit quarterly talking about how regional co-ops can help in this process of greening. So I'll send that along as well. It's kind of interesting. Then I jumped over to talking and looking at, of course, India and what's going on with the surge and why it was much worse than expected, or much worse than they had previously anticipated. And part of that has to come with that they've only inoculated 3% of the 1.4 billion people that are in that country. They had early success with containing COVID. That led to maybe a lax approach to getting people inoculated. Now it's a race against time to see how many people they can save and how many people can get inoculated there. But some great charts. Again, it's another Wall Street Journal article, but there's just some great charts there. Then I skipped over to Liberty Street Economics. This is a group at the New York Fed. They do wonderful research in talking about how monetary policy shock in the United States cascades out to the emerging market economies. I think it's worth a read in kind of understanding the different channels of which that works. Trade is important, but it's really the financial channels that make such a big impact, because it as U.S. interest rates go up, that makes the dollar generally strengthen, that makes these emerging market currencies weaken, and that also hurts their ability to make payments on dollar-denominated debt. And also it weakens internally the ability to raise capital within those countries. So it's a good read. Again, that's on Liberty Street Economics. And again, I'll post this. And then finally, I just took a look at, the inflation story. Again, there were some numbers out of China this week, or just over the last 24 hours, talking about how housing prices have gone up faster than expected. But there was an article on Reuters talking about Chinese producers starting to raise prices and passing those along to clients globally. So you want to check that out. That's something that we're going to see more and more as those producers in China have higher costs due to higher costs for commodities. They're going to pass it along to everyone else across the world. So we expect higher inflation there. These stories all wrap around this kind of interesting theme of higher U.S. interest rates due to higher inflation, and where does that come from? So that's why that's included in there. All right, I'm Andy Bush. This is the week of May 17th, Monday. Enjoy the week. And again, you can get all my research at andrewbush.com. Thanks for watching.